So story time. So let me tell you a little story about one of the experiences I had interviewing. So I'm going to try really hard not to say names, and I hope nothing slips out. So if I do, just you didn't hear anything. So there was this company I really wanted to work at, and I got all dressed up, had my tie and everything on. So I get down there, and they started asking me questions. Once I get in, they give me a tour. Everything is going well. So then they started asking questions about HTML, CSS, React, and I'm getting most of them right. You know, they're engaged. Everything is going well. So I don't see a computer or anything. I don't see any whiteboards. So I'm like, what are we going to be doing? So they take me to a wall and basically say, all right, this is the app that we want to build. These are the components that we want. How would you do it? So I'm standing here looking at this wall, feeling like the crazy mom on Stranger Things. Like, I guess I'm just about to be writing all over this wall. So here we go. So I start building the component, and I have this child component that I'm writing out, and I put state right in the child component. So one thing you need to keep in mind is that your brain is going to make some crazy things here while you're right there on the spot. So they ask me, and again, this is when I'm still, kind of learning some things, figuring things out. They ask, if we want access to that state in the parent component, how will we do that? And for some reason, I just blurted out, yeah, I probably would set it up with Redux, because if I know I need state in all different components, I would use Redux instead of saying I would lift up the state and put the state in the parent component. So this is, again, when I'm still kind of figuring out Redux and all of that. So they're like, oh, okay. So what would that look like? We don't really use a lot of Redux. Can you write that out? So I'm like, wait, who, me? You want me to whiteboard all of this in Redux? So I'm like, okay, that was a mistake. We could go ahead and end this interview right now, because this is not going to go well, but I need this job. I want to work here. So here we go. So I start writing all this stuff out, and they're asking me all these questions, and they're saying, it's not really making sense. Can you explain that more? And I didn't know if it really didn't make sense because they didn't understand it, or they use Redux all the time, and they knew I didn't know what I was talking about at the time. So anyway, I get through that. They ask me some CSS questions. I'm able to do that. So then the rest of the interview, they're looking at their phones. And I'm like, they must have some really important emails coming in, because they're just staring at their phones, but everything is still okay. So here's the kicker. So as we get up and we're walking, I've seen online that this company they take you out to lunch halfway through the interview, and then you come back and you finish. So we're going down the stairs. I'm like, all right, everything is cool. And as we're getting close to the door, I'm thinking in my head, all right, fellas, so where we going out to eat? Who's driving? And they open the door and they say, basically, thank you and have a good day. And they close the door. So I pretty much felt like Jazzy Jeff getting thrown out the door on Fresh Prince. And so I'm standing there just confused. I'm like, man, I thought we were about to go out to eat and have a great day. So now I'm in the car driving home. I'm hot because I got on this button up. I'm far. I'm sitting in traffic, and I'm hungry because I thought I was getting lunch there. So one of the things that I hope to help you with is, if you don't get the job, you at least get that lunch once we're out of the pandemic. So let's keep it moving.